President. I'd like to ask the Chief Minister if he will make a statement on the UK Brexit negotiations and on any progress made in respect of no-deal planning.
Chief Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr President. As I've stated previously, Brexit negotiations are a matter for the UK Government and the European Union. Honourable members will be aware that talks are ongoing. There are so many uncertainties that I am unable to add anything at this stage which is not speculative, except that the European Council is due to meet later this week and that the Prime Minister has postponed this morning's meeting of the Cabinet Office to make way for a final push for a Brexit deal. In the light of this uncertainty, we continue to prepare on the basis of a so-called no-deal exit on the 31st of October. We have spoken at length in this place about the preparations the Isle of Man is making in respect of a no-deal planning. This planning is progressing and work continues with colleagues across the Isle of Man Government, the UK Government and private sector partners to ensure we are fully prepared for a potential no-deal exit on the 31st of October.
Supplementary, Mr Hooper.
Thank you, Mr President. I'd like to thank the Chief Minister for that answer. I'm not going to go into much depth on this because we covered Brexit quite comprehensively, I think, last week. The one question I would like to ask the Chief Minister, though, is in respect of the EU settlement scheme. He's saying we're planning, obviously, for the event of a no-deal at the end of this month, which is weeks away. Can the Chief Minister just advise how many people have currently availed themselves of the Isle of Man's EU settlement scheme and what work is being done to raise awareness of the scheme, including any very important dates people need to be aware of if they are going to register in the event of a no-deal Brexit in a few weeks' time?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank the Honourable Member for raising his questions because it does give me the opportunity to raise these concerns and hopefully the media will take them on board. And I know I've done an article for our newspapers on all these topics. But regarding the EU citizens, last week we have issued an animation that will help EU citizens to apply to the EU settlement scheme to confirm their right to remain after Brexit. Now, the last time I saw the figures, I think it was around 20, but I will get the latest figures on people who have applied from the EU as EU citizens to be registered, and I will circulate that to all members.
Ms Edge, supplementary.
Thank you, Mr President. Just wonder if the Chief Minister can comment with regards to the Chief Constable's a question was asked of him by myself in the Social Affairs Policy Review Committee with regards to our borders and security, and the Chief Constable's comments were that politicians needed to start talking about it. I just wonder if the Chief Minister could give some reassurance to the people of the island that we are talking about our borders beyond Brexit.
Chief Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank the Honourable Member for the opportunity to reply on behalf of this issue. Now, Mr President, the UK has acknowledged that the common travel area as a whole may provide a risk to the UK's border after Brexit. And there are various stages of whatever happens. There will be pre, during and post, and then long term. Now, the Isle of Man Constabulary has been working closely with the UK to share intelligence and coordinate any necessary enforcement to ensure this risk does not become a problem. The United Kingdom has established a new UK International Crime Coordination Centre to ensure the continued access to global security data after Brexit, and the Isle of Man will have access to this data. But obviously the Chief Constable's comments were taken a snapshot of a wider picture that he was painting, and he raised concerns, but it's obviously concerns we've all got, and I think the fact that we are part of the UK data on the Crime Coordination Centre is really important that he will get access to those figures.
Mr Speaker.
Thank you. I appreciate I might be stretching the question a little bit, but does the Chief Minister have an assessment as to how ready we are in the event of a deal, given the prospect has actually been floating around rather more recently about a revised deal?
Minister, we could talk about this all day.
Thank you, Mr President. Well, I've always taken the opinion that a deal is better for the Isle of Man than a no deal, and I think I've said numerous times to this honourable court, you know, we've prepared for the worst case scenario, and anything that is a deal, obviously we regularly meet with the UK to give them our views on what our concerns are, and I'm sure that will be taken on board, and I will be delighted if his optimism for a deal actually happens.
Supplementary, Ms Edge.
Thank you, Mr President. Just to follow on from the borders, whilst I appreciate that there's lots of data and there's going to be data sharing from that point of view, what does the Chief Minister envisage from a physical border? Is there any likelihood of that happening and passport control?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. Yes, that has been analysed, and Treasury have granted extra funding for their Customs and Excise to have 2 extra officers working, so that should there be a border between people coming in, say, from Ireland who are part of the common travel area but who are not Irish residents, then they have put the resources aside and those people are in training as we speak.